So it's finals week. Well, for some people, anyways. For a lot of people across the country, it's finals week. So I thought, being the 16-year-old super genius PhD, if you will, that I am, I thought we'd sit down and talk about finals for this week's episode. And one main thing, an overarching thing that I think I'd like to point out right away and hit you with, is to not worry about finals. A lot of people get super nervous and super tensed up. And I guess I should take that back. Some people have the right to be. But if you're a regular student and you do well in your classes, you have nothing to worry about. So basically, colleges look at your semester grades. And for most classes, this is how this works. So semester is broken into two quarters, right? So one quarter is usually 45% of your grade. The next quarter is 45%. And then to make up that 10% is where they put finals. It varies between 10, 20%. But most of them are 10% of your grade. So right there, 10% of your semester grade is going to be on your finals. And while that sounds like a scary amount, if you get, an 85% one quarter and let's say an 85% the next, so it averages out to 85%, and you don't do so hot on the final, it's not going to ruin your grade because it's the majority. 90% of your grade is the two quarters. So if you're a smart student and you did all of your work first semester and you tried real hard first quarter and you got like an A, and the next quarter you got like a B, and that averages out to, let's say, an 89% or something, then you don't really have to worry about finals. And I think a lot of people worry about it. Really what it is you've got 8 tests to take in 3 days or so, which isn't bad. It's like 3 tests a day. They give you, in our school anyways, an hour and 50 minutes a test, and then a lot of in-between time and whatnot, so it's not really all that difficult. Sorry, I sound a little nasally, don't I? I'm under the weather yet. But it's not that bad. It's really not. And a lot of people get so worked up about it that they end up not doing well. A couple things you could do to really help you feel prepared coming in. Most teachers want you to do good on your finals. There's a lot of things going around depending on where you go to school and whatnot. Some teachers are graded, they're graded. Like, their pay is based on how good you do in these sorts of finals, like the ACT finals, some other tests and whatnot. So they're going to go through with you and make sure you understand what you're doing. Pay attention in that in-class time, because they're taking, let's say 2 days to go over everything you've learned. You want to pay attention during that, so right? Another good thing that some people don't always look at is your notebook, where you write your notes down in. Just flip through that. It's not like you have to study, an hour a night or something. But just flip through it, when you got a spare second, maybe 10 minutes, when you're in class not paying attention, right? You should be flipping through. Just try to make sure you understand, because the stuff you learned in the first chapter of, let's say, math, you probably don't remember as hot as the stuff you're learning now, because this stuff you're learning now is obviously here, and it's probably harder. So you got to make sure you go back and get that stuff. Again, depending on the subject, if you're really bad at math, you might want to spend more time looking at math than, let's say, history. You want to focus in on the subject that you're bad at, and that can also definitely help you. Things just on the day, sleep is so important. And as cliche as it is, breakfast is really important as well. You got to get up, and you just got to get yourself in the frame of mind. Not that I'm taking a test and that I'm like super stressed out. It's just another day, and you're just filling out another worksheet, because that's really all it is. Now, for those of you that are failing your classes, like let's say you have a 62% in the quarter, and if you don't get, if you don't pass this final, if you don't get at least a D on this final, you're gonna fail the class. You guys have a lot more work to do. All right, you are the ones that have to sit down and actually go through the material an hour. I'm guessing those sorts of people don't do that because that's how they got in that predicament. But if you want to pass the class, you're going to have to do that. And I know a lot of people, like freshman year, said, oh, I don't need to worry about that. I'll just take the class again. And then now coming around towards junior, senior year when they actually have to take the class again, Sorry. When they actually have to take the class again, they're really wishing that they just done it right the first time. So do that. Don't give up hope in yourself. If you sat through the class and you paid attention, chances are you know what the teacher's saying. You understand. Maybe you can't put it together right away, but with a little help, I'm sure you could, right? So don't be afraid of the teacher. Make sure, ask a friend, which is like the most said and underused thing I think anyone's ever said in the history of Everness. They said, oh, go talk to your friend and, help each other out, which is something everyone always says, but I've never seen anyone actually do. And for those that have done it, the couple people, whoa, crazy people, it helped them a lot just to sit down and be like, okay, this is this and that, Let's say you don't like your teacher, because I actually, personal experience here, I have this issue. I don't like my math teacher. She doesn't teach very well, I just don't like her. So I actually went to a different math teacher in our school, one that I preferred, and he sat down with me and we went through some of the stuff I was a little fuzzy on, right? And just that mental sort of, instead of like, this teacher, like, oh, this teacher, someone who I like, someone who's good at their job, whether I like him or not. Sometimes just that mental aspect really gets you kind of in the learning zone. Because really what it is they're trying to figure out how much of this stuff you've absorbed. They want you to be like a sponge. Whether the information is useless or not, they want you to absorb it as much as you can. And that's what the finals is just a test and make sure that they've done their job. And a lot of teachers don't do their job. So I understand what you're saying. I feel your pain. I feel it. I cry every time. You know what I'm saying? I feel that. But you gotta not be in the head zone of, I'm doing this to spite the teacher. You have to do it because this is for me. At the end of the day, the teacher, whether they're a bad teacher, they like you, whether you fail the final on purpose because you don't like them, has no effect on anything, really. Maybe, like I said, sometimes like their pay or whatnot. But you doing that is going to hurt you more than them. And if you fail it and you fail the class, then you got to deal with them again. Why would you want to do that? So, definitely, if we could just recap this, pay attention in class when they're recapping the stuff. Go through your notebook. A big thing, again, is to not worry, especially the night before or even that morning. Get yourself some good sleep. Get up, sing a song, take a shower, eat a good breakfast, and you'll be fantastic for finals. Like I said, it's only 7 or 8 classes amongst a 3-day period. You get long lunches, long breaks. Really, it's kind of like a party. It's the end of half the school year. That's great, right? So don't be so stressed out about it, and I hope you guys can enjoy your finals week. I hope you do really good on your finals, and I also hope to talk to you again soon, very, very soon. Does that make sense? I'm probably not going to do well on my English final if I talk like that.